Good afternoon, welcome to lesson 3.8. We're talking about evaluating expressions today. This is something that we've already talked about before, but today we're throwing in decimals into the mix. So if you need a refresher on evaluating expressions, today's going to be that day. If you need a refresher on working with decimals, today is also that day. So we're getting closer to our celebration of knowledge. So let's go ahead and get to your PBIL section. We're going to go ahead and just jump straight into it, and let's take a look. Here's the first problem that we're taking a look at today. We have 7 plus a bracket 2 times parentheses 8.1 plus 0.9 parentheses and bracket. These brackets might be confusing if you haven't seen them before, but all a bracket is we're going to use the bracket in place of a second pair of parentheses. So when we're solving a problem such as this, PEMDAS is going to stay the same. So I'm going to go ahead and write PEMDAS up here. Remember, we have parentheses, exponent, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. If we're breaking down PEMDAS by levels, first we do parentheses, then we do exponents, then multiplication, division are in the same level, and addition, subtraction. So, brackets take the place of a second set of parentheses. So in order to solve this problem, we're going to work with our smallest set of parentheses and work our way out. So to do that, we look at the problem and say, okay, here's my first set of parentheses, and then there's brackets outside of that. I want to start with the smallest thing that I can as far as parentheses. So that's going to be the 8.1 plus 0.9. Once I solve 8.1 plus 0.9, remember, if you need a refresher on how to add decimals, it's going to be 8.1 plus 0.9. It's important that when we're adding decimals, we have to line them up. So now all I do is I just do a simple addition problem. 1 plus 9 is 10. And I bring down my decimal. It's going to be right there. And 1 plus 8 is 9. So 8.1 plus 0.9 is going to give us 9. So I solve what's in that parentheses. Now I have 2 times 9. We can keep our brackets there. 2 times 9 plus 7. Well, again, we're solving what's in the parentheses first. This parentheses has already been solved. So now we need to take 2 times 9. Remember, when there's a number next to a set of parentheses, that just needs to multiply. That's what's inside our set of brackets. So we're going to do that next. 2 times 9 is 18. And now we bring down our 7 part, and now we just have to simply do 7 plus 18. When we do 7 plus 18, that's going to equal 25. This is what we're getting into today with evaluating expressions with decimals. It's really going to be the same thing, and I also threw in some brackets just so that we could kind of keep expanding what we're doing. But make sure that you have each step written down in your PBIL section, and that way you'll have some notes to refer to. Remember, this is lesson 3.8, evaluating expressions. Go ahead and flip to your guided practice section with me, and we'll try to get you out of here so you can go check out the Royals game here tonight. We're in our guided practice section now, and we're just going to do a couple problems together, and I'll send you on your way to your quiz. So let's look at number 1. This one's even kind of taking a step back from our PBIL, right? So all we have here is just parentheses. There's no brackets. But remember, when we have decimals involved, we're just evaluating expressions using PEMDAS. So, in PEMDAS, first thing we do is parentheses. We look at our parentheses. We have 4.5 minus 2.1, or 4 and 5 tenths minus 2 and 1 tenth. What I'm going to do is, off to the side, I'm going to line up my decimals because I'm doing subtraction. In addition and subtraction, we have to line up the decimals. So now, I just bring down my decimal point, and it's going to be just a normal subtraction problem. 5 minus 1 is 4, and 4 minus 2 is 2. So this parentheses, the quantity is 2 and 4 tenths. Now we're going to add that to 2 and 3 tenths. Now again, in addition and subtraction, we line up our decimals. So it's going to be 2.3 plus 2.4. I'm going to bring my decimal straight down. And again, I can just solve this like any other addition problem. 3 plus 4 is 7, and 2 plus 2 is 4. So the answer See, this first problem is 4.7. Make sure you have that down in your journal with me in your guided practice. We're going to go ahead and move on to number 2 now. Okay, so now we're doing number 2 in our guided practice section. This one's going to kind of take it to the next level because instead of just an expression, we have an algebraic expression. And if you remember, an algebraic expression is an expression, so we have to have at least one operation. Here we have multiple operation and at least one variable, right? So there's our x, it's our variable. This is not an x, it's a multiplication sign, but this is the x that we're adding, okay? So, with this algebraic expression, it tells us the value for x is 6.2. When we're substituting for our variable, remember it's just, the variable is just holding this place. It's when we don't know what the value is. Well now, it tells us we do know our value is 6.2. So all I have to do is plug in, instead of x, I'm going to rewrite my problem, and where the x was, it's now 6.2. So I substitute for the x, 6.2, and now I'm going to do times 2.8. So here's our new problem with the substitution applied. And now we just do simple PEMDAS. Remember, parentheses is going to come first, so I just solve what's in the parentheses. Again, with addition, we line up our decimals. 9.8 plus 6.2. 8 plus 2 is 10. I'm going to bring down my decimal just straight there. 1 plus 9 is 10, plus 6 is 16. So this quantity is equal to 16 times 2.8. To solve this now, we're going to go do this part over here, and it's going to be 16 times 2.8. If you notice, multiplication is going to be different than addition and the subtraction that we did. For addition and subtraction, we line up the decimals, but multiplication, we don't need to line them up. Because if you remember, we solved this like normal, so let's go and do that first. 6 times 8 is 48. 1 times 8 is 8, plus 4 is 12. 2 times 6 is 12, carry the 1. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 3, or plus 1 is 3. Then we have 8 plus 0 is 8, 2 plus 2 is 4, 1 plus 3 is 4. But that's not my final answer, because with multiplication, we count and see how many digits are behind, or how many place values, rather, are behind a decimal point. In this problem, with our factors going into the product that answer the multiplication problem, we only have one place value behind a decimal. 16 doesn't have anything. So now in our answer, we also have to have one place value behind the decimal. So once I count from right to left, I have one behind my place value, and the answer to number 2 is 44.8. So make sure you have each step written down with me in your notes, and we're going to take a look at number 3. Here we are at number 3. This is going to be the last problem in your guided practice section, and this is where it starts to get more fun. Alright, so here we go. We have a bracket, a parentheses, 5.5 plus 2.3, parentheses, minus 2.1, another bracket, plus 2.3. The first is kind of look intimidating with all the decimals and the parentheses and the bracket, but it's really not that hard if we remember PEMDAS. So, let's look at PEMDAS, and remember, these brackets are just another grouping, they're another parentheses, but we have to work our way out until we get to them. The first set of parentheses we see on the inside of these brackets is 5.5 plus 2.3. So I'm going to do that out here to the side. 5.5 plus 2.3. Again, for addition and subtraction, we line up our decimals. Then we can solve it like normal. 5 plus 3 is 8. 5 plus 2 is 7. I brought down my decimal straight down, and this quantity in the parentheses is 7.8. So now we have 7.8 minus 2.1, and that's what was in our brackets. So now, as you can see, we're already getting smaller and less numbers. It's already starting to look a little easier. So it makes it easier if you write each step that you're doing. If you try to skip steps and do things in your head when you're first doing this, you're going to probably miss a step, or you miscalculate something along the way. So just write each step like I'm doing in your guided practice section. That will save you a lot of headaches. Now we're left with 7.8 minus 2.1, and we've got brackets. If you remember, brackets are just like parentheses, so we're just going to solve whatever's inside of that. So, again, off to the side, we get rid of this part. we're going to do 7.8 minus 2.1. Again, I'm just going to bring my decimal straight down, and I just solve it like normal. 8 minus 1 is 7. 7 minus 2 is 5. So the answer to this quantity inside the brackets is 5.7. Then I'm going to bring down that 2.3 that's over there, plus 2.3. Now that we have this, we have an addition problem with decimals. Remember, with addition in decimals, we line them up. So 5.7 plus 2.3. We bring our decimal point straight down, and we solve like normal. 7 plus 3 is 10. 1 plus 5 is 6. Plus 2 is 8. So the answer to this original problem is going to be 8.0. Again, that kind of looks intimidating at first if you just look at it and you see brackets, parentheses, and decimals. But really, it's simple addition and subtraction. Sometimes when there's algebraic expressions and there's x's thrown in and multiplication, that might look a little hard too. But remember, you just substitute for the x, and it's really going to be a great day once you're done. It's pretty simple, hopefully for you. If not, that's fine. Take your quiz, and we'll see what you get. Email me that score in the subject line. And if you're still struggling, I'll help you in class on Monday. So have a great weekend. Hopefully you get a chance to watch the Rose game and relax. And I will see you in class on Monday.